Okay, I just want to give you a lesson on the Bagua walking. This is probably the most difficult part for most people. In fact, I always say if you find the walking easy, then walk out of the class, because the walking is the most important thing that you can do. It's also the most difficult. Difficult mainly because most Westerners tend to try and theorize too much and work it out too much rather than simply doing the walking. And the epitome of the walking is what the things we did yesterday. These ones, that movement of course, and the other one, that's the epitome of the walking. So all those things that we did yesterday, that's what you actually learn from simply walking around a circle. The Bagua masters were people of great genius as well, of course, and they knew that rather than teach us how to kick, because they knew that the difference between the imaginary or the subconscious brain and the conscious brain. And so if they then start to teach you physically the movements to make, it's too late, gone, you haven't reacted quickly enough. So they began to work out things in everyday life that could teach us about the techniques from the Bagua form. And it's the same with Tai Chi as well. The push hands was one of those exercises that teach us abstract. It's an abstract thing that teaches us a huge amount, except we're just sitting there going like this, you know. They're brilliant exercises. So they teach us a way to learn things, but on at a subconscious level. So rather than me coming out here and teaching you, okay, let's learn all this, this is how you do it, you turn your body here, do that, that. You walk around the circle. And so the old masters of old decide, okay, what's the most common thing people do? Okay, someone I can just see them all sitting around. Oh, walking. Oh, okay, let's use walking. So old Dung, must have said, we'll make a form based upon walking that will teach you subconsciously how to get this tremendous power. When it came to the West, to Westerners of course, we want things quickly and we want things written down like in schoolwork, and that's where we get into trouble. And a lot of people have difficulty, especially when they're not learning personally with myself or Ben or Eli. They're learning from the videos, and even in the videos I find it difficult to put down about the walking because I can't see what they're doing. Eli's doing online lesson, webcam. That's an amazing thing. You'd be thrown in jail if you started talking about things like webcam back 50 years ago even, you know. It's amazing. Eli's teaching someone in Canada, live, out in his studio. I walk in, make sure I put on my old grandfather's dressing gown first, so I look really great. So I walk in and I think, hey Gordon, how are you mate? And he's in bloody Canada, Manitoba or somewhere in Canada, and we're talking and teaching him live. That's fantastic stuff. So technology has its pluses, it also has its minuses. So we do the walking to teach us a huge amount of stuff. And it's the same, the walking in Bagua can be likened to the push hands in Tai Chi. Both things are a hugely important area of your own training. I cannot stress enough push hands, for instance, in Tai Chi. But the original way it was taught, that's what, you know, none of this big stuff. That's my pet hate, so I won't get onto that now because I'm teaching Bagua. Okay, so Bagua is one of the most important things, just the walking. A lot of people like to get onto the bad stuff. You know, they like to get onto that stuff, but you can't do that unless you've done the walking. And I like to tell people about, in the old days in China, not so much nowadays unfortunately, in the old days, one of the chaps I saw there was walking around a group. They weren't very good, they weren't doing the walking particularly well, but they were a group. And for the tourists, the master had a white flowing suit on, which you never see nowadays, thank goodness, unless it's for tourists. But they were walking around. There was one guy over there walking around, and he had trod a little path for himself around like that. I said to one of the guys who spoke a bit of English, what's he doing? Oh, every now and again he'd look over at the master, and the master would just go like this. I said to one of the guys, what's he doing then? He said, oh, he can't...